Hey friends, this is the Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're making our non-traditional fruitcake. Now I'm calling this the non-traditional, let me have a sip of tea. I'm calling this the non-traditional fruitcake for one simple reason. I'm not putting any candied peel. I didn't make any this year, so I'm not putting it in. I'll put it in if it's homemade, or I don't want candied fruit. I don't want candied cherries and all that stuff. I just want dried fruit and nuts, which is how fruitcakes started, right? So I'm going to start. What I have here is my home dehydrated Honeycrisp apples. My angel in Texas sent me pecans. I have slivered almonds, sliced almonds, raw sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. And here I have sultana raisins, cranberry raisins, currants, which are black currants, dried, huge jumbo raisins, yellow raisins, and prunes. And over here in this hot water, I have dried apricots and pineapple pieces, not candied, dried. Now everybody's heard the story, and if you're new and you haven't, now I've poured the pineapple. This is dried pineapple, not candied. It's like fresh almost. Oh, sweet. I have dried pineapple and dried apricots in here. And when I was a little girl, they've been soaking in hot water to soften up so I can cut them up. When I was a little girl, it was my job to cut up the apricots. There was also, we used to buy almonds, the whole almonds, and they had the brown skins on them. Oh, here's a piece of pineapple. And my mother would pour boiling water over them and let me slip them out of their skins after they'd cooled a bit. Why? Because my brothers would have almond fights. You know what I mean? Kind of like watermelon seed fights. So this is going to be a lot healthier than your traditional fruitcake because I'm not putting candy in it. And my base recipe is just flour, eggs, honey, and butter, and spices and baking powder. So I think I can get enough back. Now this recipe, I don't measure my fruit anymore. I cut up enough fruits and nuts and everything so that the batter just barely holds it all together. So I'm not measuring. I'm just gonna fill this bowl about 3/4 full of fruit and nuts. And that should be just the right amount. That would probably be almost the same amount as the batter in quantity. As long as each piece of fruit and nut is coated in batter, it will rise, it will bake. I have a 64 gigabyte card in my camera. And I have my camera plugged into the wall so my battery doesn't die. So I'm going to take you along. Now I've got my butter here softening to room temperature. I was going to make a whole bunch of stuff today, but you know what? I'm already burned out and I have other videos to edit. For instance, making this headband. I have other videos to edit. So this is my baking week. This is my holiday baking week. And I think I'm going to be making some scones for the freezer so that I can bake them off on Christmas Eve day when company comes. All right. Oh, this is lovely. So, dried fruit, nuts, honey, butter, not candy. This is going to be a really healthy fruitcake. Okay. So there is all of our apricots and dried apricot and pineapple. Now, I didn't soak the prunes because they're soft enough they can be cut up fairly easily. But I'm going to cut these up. If you don't want prunes, you don't have to put them in there. I just happen to like prunes. I'm not going to cut all of these up because occasionally I like a snack of 3 or 4 prunes with some toast. I prefer prunes over dates. Some people, if you want to put dates in here, you go right ahead. I'm not a fan of dates, so I use prunes instead. Basically, the recipe is this: 1 pound of butter, 1 pint of liquid honey, 9 eggs, 3½ cups of flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. That's your basic batter recipe. I have simplified the recipe because I no longer cut up the red and green cherries. They're nice for color and they look like a traditional fruitcake, but you know what? I am no longer making them for prettiness. I'm making them because I like them. And I'm going to put all my favorite fruits in here. Howie does not like fruitcake, so we will be making gumball cake for Howie. I haven't decided if I'm going to put nuts in it or not. I thought about it when I tried it last year, but it really is just a cake all on its own. And the nuts would be just a nod to nutrition, right? Okay, I think that's enough prunes. Now, raisins, I'm putting them all in. These are cranberry raisins. That will be a nice color. And yeah, I'm going to put the baking powder in. For the simple reason, A, is this is a heavy cake and it will help it rise. And B, if it makes my raw pumpkin flower seeds go green, it's just a chemical reaction. It does not change the flavor, but it will give some nice green colors it reflects in the cake. I'm making fruit cake, Papa. Yeah, I see. Told ya. Daddy wants
make my
gumball cake.
Not even fussy on gumballs.
You like the gumball. No, you like the gumball cake.
They stick in my teeth, the gumballs now.
Yeah, but you don't eat them. You're not supposed to eat all the gumballs. I had to buy them twice.
Yeah, I saw that they were open last night.
Shh. All right. So here we have cranberry raisins, prunes, apricots, and pineapple. Now let's get on with the currants. It wouldn't be fruit cake if it didn't have currants. So I'm going to put most of them in because I want to save some of my raisins and currants for my cinnamon bread. Oh yes, let's not forget some of our Honeycrisp dried apples. Told ya, none of the crap in this one. Uh-oh. I packed these in so tight, I'm having a hard time getting them out. Now, if you wanted to, you could candy and dry your own fruit. Oh, yes, Miss Apple. Yeah, that's her candy. She loves apples. But dried, raw, don't matter. So far, this is looking beautiful. I don't know where my lid is for that, but I like it. Okay. So now, this is our currants, cranberry raisins, pineapple, prunes, apricots, and I'm not sure what else. So now, I'm going to put in, half of these pumpkin seeds, because I am going to make bread as well. This is a cake. I like fruit bread. I'm going to put in half of these sunflower seeds. If you had sesame seeds, you can put them in there. They're a high source of calcium. Oh yeah, this is going to be beautiful, Clark. It's almost time, dear. Almost time for... Let's go deck the halls and light the lights. Get a toasty fire burning bright. Hip hip hooray for Christmas vacation.
We have to celebrate Krampus first.
We have to celebrate Krampus first, that's right. Okay, so now I'm just going to put in a nice big hand of Sliced almonds. I always want to call these slivered almonds because they're so thin, but these are the slivered almonds. Woo! Happy New Year! There we got our slivered almonds. Oh yeah, here comes the, get down, Gracie, get down. And here's the pecans from my angel in Texas. And I'm pretty sure this is about as nutty as a fruitcake is going to get. Maybe some more pecans, but Daddy won't eat it anyway, so I might as well.
Save the pecans for just the pecan bread.
I also, pecan bread. I'm not making bread with just pecans. I'm putting raisins and stuff in it.
Oh, I thought you were making me little ones for me.
Since who? Since when?
You.
When?
You said that last week. You're going to make little ones for me. You got a couple.
Yeah, they're
With
called
raisins and shit in it.
gumball cakes. Gumdrop cakes. All right, it is time to make the batter to hold this bounty together.
You could make me a batch of banana bread with walnuts. Just for me.
I don't do walnut. We don't do walnuts.
These things.
Pecans.
Pecans. Pecans.
Okay, let's make the batter. I wish I'd gotten more craisins now. There'd be nice red in there. Oh, but that is... Okay, here we have a pound of butter. You'll need a pint of honey, liquid, 9 eggs, 3½ cups of flour, tablespoon or 2 teaspoons of baking powder, roughly, and about a tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to cut up this butter just because it is room temperature, but it's not. It's still firm, so I just want to make sure it's going to whisk easy. We're going to get the butter in there, and we'll get that creaming. I'm going to start drizzling in my 2 cups. So I'm going to put in about half of this jar of honey, which is about 2 cups. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Now we're going to crack in our 9 eggs. Always crack them on the counter, folks. Why? Because you have less chance of smashing eggshell into your batter. Egg number 9. And now in this bowl, I'm going to sift my 3½ cups of flour, baking powder 2 teaspoons, and my tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. I'm going to turn this down, and I'm just going to start sifting in our spiced flour, our seasoned and baking powdered flour. Now remember, if you don't want to see brilliant green surrounding your raw sunflower seeds, don't add baking powder or baking soda. Oh yeah, work for it, baby, work for it. Let's just get this whipping, and then I'll meet you over at the table to mix this up and get it into pan. Preheat your oven to 300 degrees, and in the lower oven rack, put a pan of water. Okay, I have my 8 USA baking pans. They've been oiled. Now, it's my experience, this rough recipe makes about 9 of these mini loaves. It is my hope that these 8 pans, I'll just make them a little bit fuller. The cake batter is going into a larger bowl because all this fruit and nuts and batter will not fit in either one of the bowls that I have them in. I really do need a bigger KitchenAid. I'm doing baking this year, and I'm going to do quite a bit, but it's not necessarily for my house because we don't eat a lot of sweets anymore. These recipes are going to like Briar's boss and his wife. You know, the co-workers at Howie's shop, Austin's parents, friends, you know. All right, now, there is more fruit and nuts here than there is batter, but we only need the fruit and nuts to be held together with the batter. Now, you may not have all the pretty reds and greens in here, but guess what? This is going to be an amazing old style fruitcake. If you have a family, you make sure you do this on a weekend when everybody's home and everybody has to have a stir at the cake. Thank you, dear. Kiss the cook. Mwah. Oh, there's our oven, preheated to 300 degrees. And when they're cooled down, I will wrap them in their holiday packages for distribution to my friends and family and neighbors. Isn't that beautiful? This is the Miss Wolfie from our half-acre homestead, and that's how you make a non-traditional, delicious, much healthier version of the holiday fruitcake. Take care. God bless.